Hello, my friends. My name is DJ Neeks, and I would like to welcome you to my playthrough of Dragon Age Inquisition. This is a game that I have been heavily anticipating, and I've been eagerly awaiting for it. I was eagerly following it as we approached, its release date. In fact, probably 2 years, maybe a year and a half, when they first announced it at E3, and they started to show footage and talk about it. I was so excited. This was the game I thought was the most anticipated game of the year, thinking that this would be the game that would really bring Dragon Age back to what made it so great when we had Origins, and kind of redeem itself for Dragon Age 2's miscues. Even though I didn't think it was terrible, I thought 2 was okay. It had its mistakes and its missteps, but I didn't think it was terrible, as some people have said. And I just thought that Inquisition was probably going to return to form in the way that Origins was. So I have exported my world state from the Dragon Age Keep website. Let's do this. Let's begin Dragon Age Inquisition. Well, now that's what I call an explosive start. That was terrible. Ugh. Okay. I'm surprised it's actually taking this long to import the data. There we go. A little longer than I thought it should have taken. Okay. So now for probably the most important part of all when it comes to one of these kinds of RPGs is, of course, the character creation, especially in a game like Dragon Age. So let's go through this. Human. Humans are the most numerous and powerful race in Thedas. They are also the most divided politically and seem to thirst for conflict. Human characters receive a bonus ability point at the start of the game. Elf. Elves are a historically oppressed people, distinguishable by their lithe frames and pointed ears. Though most survive in the poorest fringes of human cities, others live as nomads known as the Dalish. Elves receive a bonus of 25% to range defense. Dwarf. Dwarves are short, stocky, and most spend their entire lives underground. Those exiled to the surface are often merchants or smugglers, because dwarves have no connection to the Fade. They cannot be mages, but receive a 25% bonus to magic defense. Kunari. The Kunari are a race of horned giants who follow a strict religious text known as the Qun. Those who have abandoned its principles are known as Tal Vashoth and often work as mercenaries. Kunari characters get a bonus a bonus 10% physical damage resistance. So this is big. In the past, or at least in Origins, we had these 3 choices. In 2, we didn't have any choice. We had to be Hawk, who was a human. But in this, we not only get these choices back, but we also get to possibly be a Kunari. A female Kunari you can actually be, which I don't think we've actually seen to this point in the game. That's quite interesting. And I realize that a lot of people are going to be playing as Kunari because it's the first time you can actually play it. So I'm sure there's going to be tons of playthroughs of this game that feature the playing as a Kunari. Well, if you guys have been following my channel, you would know that when I played Origins, I played as a dwarf. I really like the dwarf noble origin story. And here's the fun thing. Each of these has their own backstory, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So let's first off, I'm going to be playing as a dwarf once again. And so here we go. For the class choices, as it said, I cannot be a mage, so I will not be playing as a mage in this. When I do my playthrough of Dragon Age 2, I'm probably going to be playing as either as a warrior or as a mage. I haven't decided yet. I'm not going to be a warrior, though, for this. For this, I am going to be probably, I guess, my favorite class in Dragon Age, honestly, is the dual-wielding rogue. And we'll play on casual. So here's an interesting thing about this. If these get a backstory. The dwarves of Thedas are known as their once vast underground empire and guilds of merchants and warriors held in high esteem by the other races of Thetis. Not you, a cast-off surfacer, unwelcome among the dwarves or most humans. You have scraped by as part of a criminal fraternity known as the Carta, smuggling magical ore known as lyrium. As part of the ruthless Kadash crime family, you spent your life on the streets of various free marcher city-states until you were sent to the Chantry Conclave as a spy, and everything changed. So let's quickly go back and take a look at each of the different backstories that you could have depending on what race and class you choose. So let's first off look at a human, and let's look at a dual-wielding rogue, just for the heck of it. As the youngest child of the Trevelyan noble house, you grew up in the free marcher city of Ostwick and have enjoyed a life of privilege, with close family ties to the Chantry and many relatives among the priesthood and the Templars. You were always expected to follow a similar path in service of the Maker, regardless of how you feel about the matter personally. Willing or unwilling, you were sent to the Chantry's conclave to assist relatives who sought to make peace between the Templars and mages. It didn't go well. So that's if I chose a rogue or a warrior, but if I chose a mage, privilege, you were intended for life of privilege until magical abilities surfaced at a young age and you were forced into a life of confinement within Ostwick's circle of magi. Protected but stifled, educated but isolated, the circle would have been your entire future, had the mages not rebelled against Chantry rule. Like it or not, you had to fight for your life against Templars hunting down all free mages. You joined the delegation of mages attending a Chantry conclave in hopes of negotiating peace with the Templars. It didn't go well. So you can see that even if you choose either a warrior or rogue, compared to if you choose a mage, your backstory is different. And I really like that. Now let's take a look at the elf. Let's say, the typical archer elf, like Legolas. Enslaved long ago by humans, most elves still live as second-class citizens within human cities. Elves who reject this life are known as the Dalish, nomadic wanderers who strive to keep the ancient elven religion and traditions alive. You were raised in the wilderness to be a hunter, relied upon by the Lavellan clan for food and protection. The clan wandered the northern free marches and had little need to interact with humans, until the clan's keeper sent you to the Chantry's conclave as a spy. What happened there, she said, would impact not only the Dalish, but indeed all elves. She could not have known how right she was. And if I chose to be an elf mage, you grew up in the Wilson member and an apprentice to its leader and guide, the keeper. The clan wandered the north free marches, you had little need to act with humans. So, yeah, you would be an apprentice or a hunter. Now, if you are a Kunari, let's say you are a Kunari two-handed warrior. Followers of the strict religious philosophy of the Kun, the Kunari appeared like a tidal wave to the north of Thetis 300 years ago. You are Tal Vashoth, a Kunari who has rejected the Kun and never even lived in Kunari lands. As part of the Valokas mercenary company, you have earned a living by your own wits and the strength of your blade, ignoring the fearful looks you receive from those around you. Most recently, the company was sent to the Chantry Conclave as hired swords meant to keep the peace between mages and Templars, a task that has gone horribly wrong. So you'd be a mercenary if you're that. And if you're a Kunari mage, you have earned a place within the Valokas mercenary company as its mage, possessing abilities that would have made you a pet slave among your own people, ignoring the fearful looks you receive from those around you. So basically, you're part of the same mercenary company, but you're either as a hired sword or as their mage. So I like this, that they are giving you various backstories, almost similar to Dragon Age Origins with the origin stories. So, but as I said, we're going to be a dual-wielding dwarf who is a surfacer, a cast-off surfacer, and is part of the Carta. So you are essentially the dwarf commoner origin story from Origins, which I find very interesting that you can you could have been the same thing in Origins, and you're part of the Kadash crime family. And if you remember, Kadash was actually the family that Shale was originally from when she was a dwarf, before she became a golem, when we found out when we went to Kadash Taig. I just find that very interesting, that there is that connection there. So, we spent our life growing up on the streets of various Free Marcher city-states. So we're a surfacer dwarf, a cast-off, a smuggler, part of the Kadash crime family, and from the Free Marches. And I'm going to import my world state from Dragon Age Keep. I do not like the fact that this is taking longer than it should. We may be waiting here a second. I don't know why it would have issues searching for my world state. But if you want to know, speaking of the Keep, if you want to know what decisions I made and choices that I made in the first two games that I am importing into this game, I did make a playthrough preview video where I pretty much give a quick summary of some of the important choices that you could have made in those games. So that way you can be able to know what I could have done, since I have not done a playthrough of Dragon Age 2 at this point, even though I intend to do so. But the fact that this was a game that came out recently, I wanted to be able to get this up and start doing this once it was able to work. Okay, no custom world state found. No. Import, please. Please find this. I know it's there. I may have to redo this part. I don't know. I may have to re-film this. I don't know why. Apparently, it's having issues here with my world state. I mean, I know I exported it. Oh, boy. And I did such a nice intro, I thought. 12 minutes in, and I may end up having this very, apparently bad connection problem. I have no idea why. Alright, let me recheck the site here. Yeah, I'm re-pulling up the Dragon Age Keep website. I don't know why it's having issues connecting. Yeah, see, it's saying it won't. I don't know why it's saying that it won't connect. I don't know why it's saying that. There should not be a problem. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna cut the intro here. So this is going to be a very short part one, or short compared to the videos I do now. This is pretty much the average length I used to do. But yeah, I'm going to stop it here until I figure out what's going on with the connection here. And then we'll be right back to begin our journey as the Carter Dwarf. Stay tuned.